Hello, this is Chris Lancy from the Tropical Analysis and Forecast Branch of the National Hurricane Center, discussing with you today the Atlantic Hurricane Season Outlook and its relevance for the blue water mariners. The Atlantic Hurricane Seasonal Outlook was issued yesterday, May 25th, and for the 2023 season, the most likely is for a near average season, 40% chance, but almost as high as an active year, 30% chance, or a quiet year, 30% chance. So it's a really wide range of possibilities. And that's because there's competing factors this hurricane season. In the Pacific, there's a phenomenon called the El Nino, warming in the waters of the equatorial Pacific. And when that happens, there's more wind shear and it tears apart Atlantic hurricanes. But on the flip side, the Atlantic Ocean itself is warmer than normal, pressures are low, and more instability for thunderstorms to form. And so it's not clear which factor is going to dominate this year. So at this point, we're going mainly for a near average season, but a very large range. So as an example, the number of hurricanes forecast is 5 to 9, and climatology or average is 7. So it's quite a large range. I do want to make sure you know that this does include the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean Sea, and the tropical North Atlantic, and it does count the subtropical storm that occurred back in January. So if we look at the hurricane season by month spatially, we can see that in June, we typically have formations that are in the Northwest Caribbean, the Gulf of Mexico, or the westernmost Atlantic. In July, things spread a little bit toward the east, where you can have formations in the eastern Caribbean Sea. But by August, it really starts getting busy. You can see the number of storms shown by the colors, as well as the spatial extent. We're getting systems further east and further north in August. And by September, it's the peak of the season. We typically have the most number of storms and the strongest that happen in September. Everywhere north of 10 latitude is susceptible to tropical storms and hurricanes, and all the way east almost to the Cape Verde Islands. October can be very busy as well, but the main development region in the tropical Atlantic tends to get quieter in October, but you can get some hurricane activity, even major hurricane activity, in the Western Caribbean, Eastern Gulf of Mexico, or Western Atlantic. And then finally, by November, it tends to quiet down quite a bit, but you can still have activity in the Caribbean or the westernmost Atlantic. It's also worth pointing out that 90% of major hurricanes just in those 3 months of August, September, and October, and you can have out-of-season tropical storms and hurricanes occurring on occasion. So what specifically does this seasonal outlook mean for you, the blue water mariner? So this picture from today's marinetraffic.com shows how many hundreds and hundreds of ships are out there. And these are just the large commercial vessels that are out there. And whether you're in the Caribbean Sea or the Gulf of Mexico or Western Atlantic, they're all susceptible to hurricanes. But with the seasonal outlook, we don't specify for individual ports or individual shipping lines on whether it'll be more or less active. The outlook itself is just overall activity, and so we can't regionalize it very well. And so we can't say specifically which ports or which shipping lines will be impacted this hurricane season. So to summarize, we are forecasting for a near average hurricane season as the most likely scenario, but it would not surprise us if it was quieter than normal or more active. So because of that, that's that range of 5 to 9 hurricanes, with the average being 7. So a very large spread and larger than usual uncertainty for our outlook because of the competing factors that I mentioned. So what does this mean for the mariner? Again, we can't regionalize it for individual ports or shipping lanes. So you need to prepare this year, just like you do every year, that you could get impacted, where you may need to deviate your route or switch ports depending on what tropical storm or hurricane is in the area. So you just need to be prepared. And this year we do provide at the National Hurricane Center a 7-day tropical weather outlook. So we're extending that by 2 days. And then whenever there's any active tropical cyclones or potential tropical cyclones, then those will be available to you on our website. So I did want to point you to a couple of resources that may be helpful. The first of which is that every single day, 24 hours a day, we're issuing forecast products, graphics, text, and gridded information. You can go to hurricanes.gov/marine. Also, a new service that we're providing this year for the first time are the Tropical Atlantic Marine Weather Briefings. This covers the Caribbean Sea, Gulf of Mexico, and tropical North Atlantic. They're issued twice a week, once late on Sunday, and again another one late on Thursday. They're valid through the next 5 days, and they're posted, just like this video, to the NHC Tropical Analysis Forecast Branch's YouTube channel. So please be safe this hurricane season. We've got 6 months to go.